share our incredible guest, Olivia Howell, with you today. Olivia is the co-founder and CEO of Fresh Starts Registry, the first and only platform for everything you need to begin again, including divorce or breakup, moving, career changes, stepping into your truth, or starting again after grief. After her own divorce in 2019, Olivia had an aha moment when she realized that we celebrate weddings and babies with a registry, but in the moments we really need to restock our life, like divorce, job loss, or any brave decision and major life change, we need the support, both in the form of support items for your home and the experts who become our hype team. From there, Fresh Starts Registry was born, the first support registry and divorce registry, and the only platform which aggregates support experts for all life changes and supports the Fresh Starts experts in their marketing, business, and public relations. Olivia is also the co-host of the top-rated podcast, A Fresh Story, and the co-author of Simple Scripts to support your people. What to say when you don't know what to say. I absolutely loved our conversation today. We discussed all things life transitions, divorce, entrepreneurship, writing her book, as well as this innovative creation that her and her sister have created with the Fresh Starts platform. And before we drop in, we have a special message from one of our sponsors, Satnam Sessions. Satnam Sessions is for the spiritual seekers who are ready to drop into their highest potential and cultivate inner freedom. You receive specific teachings to accelerate your success and drop into your self-source power, to cultivate inner freedom and transformation on a deep cellular level. And it's a platform where mental health and manifestation is made easy. You're invited to join your spiritual running buddies inside Satnam Sessions virtual wellness studio with over 120 practices that include power practices, breath work, meditation, and Kundalini yoga and meditation practices. You are invited to try it today for free for 14 days, and you can learn more about how to grab your free 14 days in the show notes. And so without further ado, let's get dropped in, shall we? Welcome to Dropped In, Olivia. I am super stoked to have you here today and to share your magic and medicine with our community. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, I absolutely love your work. I think it's so incredible what you are offering, and it's so innovative, and definitely not seen anyone else do what you are doing. So while we get into the space in this conversation, would you be open to sharing like kind of what you do and how you got into this work, because it's so needed. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, it's a big story, so I'll give you the TLDR. Um, I have been in marketing a long time. I have still a marketing agency. My sister and I do everything together. So we have a marketing agency, and then in 2019, my marriage fell apart, as 50% of them do. And I realized that that was a time that we really need to start reframing what divorce is. I come from a long line of divorce. We say every branch in our family tree is split. And so I realized we don't have a registry, right? We don't have a time to support people going through these big life transitions. And so I am the type of person that if something doesn't exist, I build it. And so I realized that I wanted to build a registry and a resource for experts. That was a one-stop shop platform. People could come and register like a typical wedding or baby registry for the things that they needed when they were restocking their life after a major life change, whether it is divorce. We have a lot of people who are coming out, who are building or buying their first house, graduating PhD. So these big, brave life decisions, we say. And we have this amazing resource guide of vetted experts who apply to be a Fresh Starts expert. And they have profiles just like you have on Psychology Today on Fresh Starts. But that didn't make us any money. So we needed to figure out how to make money because registries don't really make money. Registries are just items that we recommend. So we brought in our marketing and public relations background and we built out the Fresh Starts expert community, which is a monthly membership, just like a typical monthly membership that our experts join when they become a Fresh Starts expert. And we support them in communications, social media, marketing, and public relations. We do PR for them, which is completely unheard of at the price point that our membership is at. So we like to say support starts with support. So we support our experts in marketing. They can support their clients. And our mission overall at Fresh Starts is to eliminate the overwhelm of big, brave life decisions and teach people how to support their loved ones and also teach the people going through, which we call their freshies, how to ask for support. So we like to bridge the gap. So we're kind of working in all different areas.
Oh my goodness, I love it. And I love, like, you are the definition of an innovator. So it's so cool to see what you're up
Thank
to,
you.
see what you're doing. Yeah, it's super cool. And especially for those individuals who are really going through those tough life transitions. I know it can feel very lonely, you can feel very
Yeah.
isolating, and you can really get into the space of, going into some dark, deep places. So I love that you have created this for individuals who are in that transition. So, so
Thank
needed.
you. I appreciate that. And, it's always free to build a registry. So we actually use Amazon. It's powered by Amazon for a variety of reasons. Safety and security for our freshies was always number one. And so to build out a registry platform ourselves would mean that it might be compromised. Sometimes we've seen that happen with registry platforms. And I mean, I'm sure you can imagine if you're going through a divorce or a transitioning or anything, you want to be super careful with the information you have there on the internet. So we're powered by Amazon. We have bundles by rooms and by price point that you can go add all the items to your registry. And then we have people add really cool things too. And we don't collect user data on anybody going through a fresh start because we are not a company that's ever going to sell your data. Again, safety and security was always number one for us, which was interesting when we were going through. We kind of dabbled in the investment track a little bit, and they did not like that information because they like to sell data, right? So for us, it was we're a people first company. We always wanted to make sure that was number one. But we have a lot of people who come back and tell us they used the website and tell us they built registries. And so just last week, a newly divorced woman told me she put a disco ball on her registry and a pirate flag and like all this cool stuff. So we love that. And then we have our amazing experts that range in everything from, the typical therapist, divorce coach, divorce lawyer to Reiki healers, energy healers, magic, healers, all of these people and everything in between. To become a Fresh Starts expert, you have to apply, like I said, but you have to sign our ethos. That means that you are non-judgmental, shame-free, and inclusive. And so we know that we can recommend these people out all over the place. And when you work with one of them, you are in safe hands. And I will say most of them work virtually and most of them have free consultations. So I always recommend if you're thinking about working with an expert, get in touch with them because they'll usually jump on a phone call with you. As you know, Megan, working with a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh, so cool. So cool. So can you elaborate a little bit more? So from what I'm hearing, like, you're attracting individuals who are going through life transitions, going into the registry, and then they're also able to connect with people that might be able to support them with what they're going through in their life transitions.
Correct. So let's say that you are a divorced woman or we get a lot of people at the inflection point of considering, right? Considering whatever the big life brave decision is. So I took myself as like the first client, right? So what did I need? I was a single mom. My kids were 5 and 3 at the time. I thought, well, I need a divorce lawyer, right? I need a therapist. I need a children's therapist. I need a real estate broker and a mortgage broker. We found in our own research that people use about 10 experts for every one life change. And so if you think about like the life changes, even like buying a house, right? You have an inspector and you have the mortgage person. There's a lot of people. So we wanted one place you could come get everybody you needed for your life changes. And we always say, fresh starts beget fresh starts. And so what we'll see happen a lot is typically, like, let's just say take a woman going through a divorce, because we get that a lot. She'll come and she'll need the typical divorce lawyer, divorce coach, which I recommend for everybody, therapist, parent expert, but then also she might need a dating coach, come back to need the dating coach. She might need a hairstylist, which is what we have, or a regular fashion stylist, and then maybe a career change. We have business coaches, we have resume coaches. So we really wanted to be able to support people at every different turn of their fresh start.
So cool. So cool. So
Thanks.
you've created this huge network for people to plug and play into and
Yep.
really don't need to go anywhere else. It's like a one-stop
Exactly.
shop.
That's my business mind. And I worked in the baby registry world for a long time. I was the marketing director for one of the big baby registry websites for 7 years. And so I saw how the baby registry world worked. And I thought, okay, well, how many baby registries do we build in a lifetime, right? But then if you could build out a platform like Fresh Starts, which is for any brave life decision, right, then you have people coming back all the time. And one of the things that we always try to hammer home when we talk to people is you can make a registry for anything you want. Right. So we have a lot of people who came to us and they were like, well, I've never been married. I've never had kids and I'm buying my first home. Like, I'm a single woman. Like, how come people aren't supporting me? And we're like, babe, you go build your registry. You are allowed to ask for the things you want. And that's something that as a coach, right, and as a hypnotherapist and all the things that I personally do, I work with women to say, you are worthy of building a registry and asking for what you want, because a registry is the items, which we call support items. We don't call them gifts, but it's actually more than that. Right. It's choosing joy. It's choosing things for yourself for the first time, often ever for these people. It's asking for the support you need. So it's so much more than just a registry you're going to build.
So cool. It's so cool. Yeah, I was just envisioning, there's, especially in days and age, there's people who maybe are choosing not to have children
Yeah.
or can't have children. And those are some huge milestones where people are, seen and celebrated, right? Or for people that are getting married, right? But for those that are choosing not to get married and all the things, like I love that you've opened this up to have these milestones, whether they're investing in a house or choosing to leave a relationship that isn't serving them, or what other things would people sign up for a registry for outside of like the
Yeah.
common idea?
We kind of say the top ones are, relationship breakup. So whether it's divorce, lose my sister, actually, she had never been married. It was funny. We had like a kind of opposite thing. So I stayed in the marital residence and wanted to restock my home. That way she ended her engagement and left with nothing. So she had to completely restock her life. And so we built out the platform kind of with that knowledge. So relationship, job loss, and job change. So whether you're going from working in an office to working at home, whether you are completely shifting your career, living through grief. We have a lot of people who come to make a registry after a big loss, especially widows. And coming out is a big one, and transitioning is a big one as well. And again, when Megan, from building all the things you've built, sometimes you put things into the world and you're like, how is this going to have a life of its own, right? And so we didn't think about things like maybe the coming out and transitioning until people started using it for that. And then we were like, yes, 100%. And then people would say things to us like, when you're transitioning, you have your dead name that you don't use anymore. And often when you are building certain things or registries or whatever, their dead name would come up and they wanted to build a registry under their new name. And so little things like that. But we really wanted to make sure it was every product we have on the registry, like bundle recommendations, we look at, we vet, we think, is this actually going to be something that they can use? So an example I always give is um, we have a registry bundle for children's rooms because a lot of women have to leave the marital residence and usually downsize to an apartment or something else. And as a mom, I knew that other moms, their children are their number one concern, right? And making a safe space. You often don't have money to make a safe space, and you also only have two hands. You don't
Mhm.
have another person there. And so we had built out this bundle that was very emotional for me to build, right? Of a toy chest that you could just open up and it would like, it was like Minecraft themed and all these things, right? And we actually have videos of people who send us the rooms that they build for their kids based on the things in their bundles. I get chills every time I talk about it because it's like
Wow.
that's exactly what I set out to do. So those are the big things. We also have again graduating medical school. We've had people build for PhD programs, just making like any really brave decision, right? Whether it's like leaving something, starting something, moving is a big one. And and I would say like it's always like moving away from something, right? Maybe moving away from your family of origin or from a partner that you just broke up with. So we always say any brave decision is a fresh start and you are worthy of a registry for any of those times because
Mm.
it always goes back to support, right? Like we always say people like, "Oh, I brought them a bottle of wine," or "I brought them dinner." Well, also you could buy them a shower curtain or new sheets. Like that's okay too. And
Mhm.
so reframing what support is really important for us.
Mm. So cool. I just love it. I love it.
Thanks.
So for those that I know you mentioned like in the work that you do with coaching and hypnotherapy, so
Yeah.
for those that like would be like, why would I register? Like, why would I make a registry because I lost my parent or because, I would have like, why would I do this? And for those that don't necessarily feel worthy, like, let's open up the conversation around that because I think it's so important.
Yeah. So I always say you are worthy of support, right? And there are people that want to support you. I
Mhm.
have yet to meet somebody that has nobody that wants to support them. And I've
Mhm.
done a lot of work. I talk to people all day, right? People want to support you. People just don't know how or
Mhm.
what or where or how, right? And so we have done a lot of work in different ways with this. We have written over 200 scripts that we give to it's kind of like a pamphlet that we can give to people and say these are for all different life experiences, whether your friend is lost a parent, had a miscarriage, their engagement ended, or even little things like their vacation was canceled, they lost their luggage, right? These are all things you grieve, these are all things that you have to go through. So
Mhm.
we like to teach people through scripts how to support their loved ones. But from what you were saying, there is so much of us, especially women, right, that like to help others and serve others and support others. But when it comes to us, we're like, I don't need that, right? I'm okay. But when you take a second and you really look around you, there's people with their hands out waiting to support you. They just don't know how. And so by saying like, "Hey," and we have scripts on the website actually when you build a registry, we have a script for you to send in a text message to your friends, right? That says, "I just went through this thing. If you want to support me, here's some stuff I need." Because when you think about it, like I said, a bottle of wine is 25 bucks. So are new sheets, right?
Mhm.
And so sometimes you really just need the sheets. Like your kids need cereal bowls, right? Like these little things. But when I work with women especially, I really work especially with that subconscious part of them, right? As you know, that's like I am worthy of accepting the support that people want to give me because it's there, but often there is a block, right? Around like just opening your hand up and accepting that support. And so just going back to that worthiness aspect, and also a big part of this is joy, right?
Mhm.
You are worthy of joy. We always say we give people permission to feel joy. And
Mhm.
that joy can be in the like I remember when I was picking out new, the things for my house after my ex left, I hated big forks. I could not I'm 5 feet tall. I hate big forks. I loved picking out the new small forks. And like that brought me so much joy. And every time I would go into the drawer, I would feel joy. And it goes the same way with the registry. So, Megan, let's say that you have a friend going through a divorce and you send her, a new pillowcase. Every time she sees that pillowcase, she's going to know a couple things that she made a decision to pick out that pillowcase for herself and that you bought it for her because you love her and believe in her and trust her decision making.
Mhm.
And as you know, energy, right, can shift. And when we can shift that energy and our perspective and say, I made a decision about a pillowcase and Megan bought it for me and I love it. And that then snowballs her confidence into saying, well, now I have to get on a phone call with my divorce lawyer, but I know I can make brave decisions, right? And even if it's something as silly as a toothbrush holder or a pillowcase, that snowballs her confidence and worthiness into the bigger life decisions. And so every fresh start, you're going to be a little bit stronger than the one you were before.
Oh my goodness. I love it. And
Thanks.
I can feel the joy and like the passion just oozing out of you. It's definitely
It
like,
is. It's my life mission. We're actually writing a book about it now, which is like my double life dream come true. Because it really does go back to like just believing in yourself. And we always say at Fresh Starts, there's two life rules. Number one, you have to be safe. And number two, you have to be in the pursuit of joy. That's it.
mhm,
Right? Everybody else is making this stuff up as they go along.
for
And,
sure.
so we have gotten so much pushback in the press, whenever people post about us, they'll be like, oh, I just got you a gift for your wedding and I have to get you a gift for your divorce, things like this. And it's like, we always come back at them and go, I'm so sorry for whatever you went through, right? That you didn't get the support you needed,
Mm,
because that's what we're trying to show people is if you can support that person, they're going to support somebody else. And that's how we change the world, right?
mm,
One brave decision at a time.
100%, creating that beautiful ripple effect. Oh, it's so
Exactly.
good. So you mentioned the book, and let's talk about the book. What are you writing? Are you co-authoring it with your sister or?
Yes. So we had this amazing experience that we have written a lot in the past, but we were kind of just going along this summer doing our thing, and a literary agent came to us and said, I love what you're doing. Let's do this. And so we are currently working on a book proposal that is going to be kind of a fresh start how to, and really talk. And I'm going to bring in a lot of what I do, right, with the tapping and the subconscious reprogramming, and really like getting to the real root of your issue so you can go into your fresh start. And I think, there's such a like misconception about what a fresh start is. And a fresh start is not always positive, right?
Mhm.
It's not always like a big, beautiful thing. It's those really raw, brave decisions. And so something that's really important for us and on our podcast is what we talk to people about too, is like all different types of fresh starts, right? And so that's what the book is going to be about. It's going to be kind of this big how to. I've been writing my entire life. So this writing a book is like my ultimate dream come true. Like nothing else compares to that. So I'm very excited. And we have some big podcast episodes that we're producing about kind of like the really hard stuff in life, but how that can lead us to do other things or advocate for other things, or network with other people, because fresh starts are not always comfortable or easy, but
No.
life is a series of fresh starts. And so how do we get through that?
Love it. So cool. So fun. So
Thanks.
are you in the process of writing the book right now then? Like
Yeah.
where are you
Yep.
at with it?
So we're working on the book proposal. We have our outline, and my sister lives in Scotland, so she actually just recently got married, and they live in Scotland, and so we work virtually. So we literally just keep Zoom on pretty much all day, and we're just talking all day, and it's great. People are always like, "How do you guys do that?" But we work very differently. We need different environments to work, and so it's perfect for us. And so, any big project that we've ever done together, we schedule time just like you would with any business.
Yeah.
And we're both, very accomplished writers. And so we have different approaches to things. So I'll do some writing and she'll edit, and then vice versa and things like that. And we we have taken on different kind of like venues in terms of our own personal expertise, right? So I got my certifications in hypnotherapy and EFT and life coaching and all that. She is what we call a modern day etiquette expert. So she actually works and does a lot of press around how we can again support people behave in situations, but we have a very different take on things, I think, because we kind of do our own little fresh start way of etiquette. So she does a lot of work surrounding that. So everything we do kind of is a culmination of bringing that, again, bridging that gap between how you can support people and, work with people and meet people where they are, which is one of our big things. And then how you can also, I kind of bring in the other side, which is the asking for support and the worthiness and all of that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, thanks.
I love that you're writing the book together. I'm in the process of writing a book right now, and it's like it can be for me. I'm like, okay, I actually joined a mastermind because it was like
Yeah,
just to have that additional support and like having your running buddies with you who are in the process.
exactly.
Yeah, so you're not doing it alone, but I love that you're doing it together. It's so cool.
Yeah, we do everything together.
The best. The best.
It
Oh my
is the
goodness.
best.
I love your work. It's been such an honor to have you here.
Thank
So,
you, Megan.
how can people connect with you? I know you have a podcast, like share all the goods. How can people?
Sure. So again, you can go to freshstartsregistry.com. You can build a registry for free. You can browse the experts for free. You can get in touch with them. Again, most of them have free consultations. Many of them have Calendly links that you can just go book a consultation. You don't even have to talk to somebody. My personal handles are the digital Yenta everywhere. And I always say my DMs are open. So if you have a question like, should I talk to this, or do you have a recommendation for a divorce coach or whatever, always feel free to DM me. I'm happy to message people all the time. But we are Fresh Starts Registry pretty much everywhere. And then specifically for divorce, we built out a free website called divorceguide.co. And this is a ton of content around what questions you should be asking through a divorce process and who you should be asking these questions to. Because we got a lot of people that just needed a place to go to figure out, when you're, as you know, when you're going through any big life change, knowing who to ask and what to ask is really overwhelming. So freshstartsregistry.com, divorceguide.co. Our podcast is called A Fresh Story. And we're midway through season 3. And we're actually producing 2 big episodes right now. One, it's actually became a series for Pregnancy and Infant Awareness Loss Month, which is in October. We are talking to a bunch of women who have, lost moms and experts about how to support people who went through that, and sharing their stories and honoring their children. And we're doing a big episode called Everything You Wanted to Know About Divorce, but Were Afraid to Ask. And so if you're interested, you can call us, leave a voicemail. We have an anonymous question box that's completely anonymous, so people can leave questions, and our amazing experts are going to be coming on the podcast to answer. So we like to have those heavy conversations. We're all about digging deep.
I love it. Go deep or go home is my motto.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah, I love that you're going there. So it's such incredible work that you're doing.
Thank
So
you, Megan.
cool. So
Thank
cool.
you.
Okay, so before we drop off, for those that are kind of on the fence or, just wanting to quit or throw in the towel, and you can take this whatever angle you choose, what is a message of hope that you can give to them?
Just one breath at a time. That's all you have to do, is one breath at a time. And, give yourself so much grace. Being a human is really hard. And, if you can just take those like baby steps, one day at a time, the sun will come up the next day, as cheesy as that sounds. That's all you can do. And I always say too, like, I always bet on me. And if you can bet on yourself, that means getting the support you need. That means taking care of yourself, even if it's the bare minimum. But just take everything one breath at a time. And music always helps too.
Love it. So good. So good.
Thank
Well,
you.
Olivia, it's been an honor to have you. Thank you so much for dropping in with us today. And I will connect the dots in the show notes for all the people to learn more about you and your incredible work. So thank you again for being here.
Thanks, Megan.
All right. See you soon. Thank you so much for dropping in with me today. If you loved this episode, I would be forever grateful if you rated and reviewed. And if you feel called to share it with your community on social media, please tag me so I can thank you personally. Until next time, I will see you on Dropped In.